One of the key highlights in Uganda's budget cycle is the ballooning debt, now at 130 trillion shillings. The figure has crossed IMF's 50% debt to GDP threshold, raising sustainability concerns. Dr. Ezra Suruma, one of the architects of Uganda's current economy, reflects on how government has strayed from the prudent policies initially set by the president.
I remember as if it was yesterday when he said no more spending above the budget, no more. And we had to abide by that, spending money that we have. I don't see any other solution. So if you don't do that, then of course the only option is to borrow. And as I said, borrowing, both domestic and external, has some severe consequences. So aside from restoring this rule of strict balancing of the budget, well, if you have to exceed the budget, then state the rule and don't make sure you don't go above that. But this coming up for supplementaries every other day, it shows some fundamental problem. You can't be having an emergency every month.
With government often turning to debt to fund its spending spree, calls are growing for stronger domestic revenue collection. Revenue to GDP hovers at 15.3%, with a target of 18% by 2030. Fuel remains heavily taxed, but the ripple effects of such taxes are far-reaching.
I don't favor taxes on fuel, partly because transport is required for almost everything. So when you increase taxes on transport, that means that almost every commodity and every service, whether it's taxes, taxi, or health, or almost everything will go up. So that's why we should really be careful.
Dr. Suruma also points out that government investment in agriculture still falls short of the Malabo Declaration, which requires African states to commit 10% of their budgets to agriculture and rural development.
It has been a long time since we've tried to increase the budget for agriculture, and we have not succeeded. I remember there was an agreement, Africa, that the budget should be 15% of the budget. I'm not sure if it has even reached 5%. In my opinion, what's perhaps more important is providing for storage of our products, so that when people produce whatever they produce, they have where they can put it and doesn't go bad, whether it is maize, whether it is rice, whether it is fresh vegetables. We need to have a way of storage in our parishes so that these goods, because for example, if you increase maize production and prices collapse, then you have to sell because you have nowhere to keep it.
Dr. Ezra Suruma adds that the recurring supplementary budgets have undermined confidence in the budget process. However, with oil revenues projected to flow this year, there may be room for change. Rachael Nabisubi for NTV Business.